need help? Or the Alliance? Interesting. Off and away. Be seeing you.
Just how much I'm gonna show, but I figured it out. Two hearts make good friends sometimes. You got in mine. And I gotta get out. Finding thoughts inside my head that you got in mind. I'm getting
You got my attention. Watch, get her back.
just how much I gotta show. I figured it out.
Power cord. By microphone.
Two hearts make good
Testing.
friends sometimes. You got in
Thank you. Testing, 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 testing.
and I gotta get out.
That seems better.
Finding thoughts inside my head.
Hello, Mr. Bunny. Oh shit, I forgot. We actually need to level our herbalism.
Two hearts make good friends sometimes. You got in mine.
you can kiss your ass goodbye.
Alright, we're gonna die. It's fine. That's fine. Actually, no, that's not fine. Shit. Shit. Oh, what are you doing, Julian? Oh, I should have waited. I should have waited. I'm an idiot. I just woke up from a nap. I'm half asleep. I should have waited the 5 minutes and just rebubbled. I don't care about the res sickness. I just had the dragon buff and I didn't want to lose the dragon buff, so. I've been playing hardcore WoW for so long that I never die, you know what I mean? Like, I never die in hardcore WoW, so like, killing myself is not something I do very often. So I wasn't really thinking about losing the buff. Well, we got 10 minutes. I might as well just... I can get the fly path, fly to Stormwind. Maybe we can get the buff and fly back. Blah, blah, blah. Get the buff and fly back. Or we can just do the unthinkable and actually play without it. It's just not a big deal. That was stupid. God, what are you doing? Good God. Get your head out of your ass, man. All they had to do was wait 3 more minutes, geez, or 4 more minutes, and just rebubble, and that would have been fine. And I wouldn't be kicking myself right now. Stupid.
You got my attention. How are ya?
King's honor, friend. Greetings. Go with honor, friend.
Well met.
How are you? Off with you.
What can I do for you?
Great to meet ya.
What can I do for you?
What can I do for you? Light bless you. Light be with you. Be careful. Well met. For the Alliance.
When we used to play in the dark field, she used to say, figures circled us, questions they asked in the dusk. Have you ever felt a hatred of someone
It's kind of hard. Like, you'd think it'd be really easy to get a shield spike applied to a shield in Stormwind, but man, I posted like 15, 20 times and no one responded, so I'm gonna have to start actually offering money. Not that I wouldn't tip someone anyway, I always would, but I wasn't like saying that in the actual post. But I don't have to start like actually paying someone just to attach a shield spike, you know, like. Tempted to reactivate my my secondary WoW account just so I can. I wonder, like, no, I don't have anybody on this server. I don't think I have anybody on my other account on this realm. It's too bad. I mean, I know it's fresh servers, but man, it would have been so nice if I could have just transferred my character from Bloodsail Buccaneers to here, because she had so many materials, so many regions. Like, the amount of herbs she had is just ridiculous. I'd say that's one thing that has gotten annoying. I talked about this the other day, but it's how Blizzard keeps creating different versions of the game, or, you know, releasing, doing the anniversary realms, hardcore realms. Even though I love hardcore realms, but every time you create a new realm, especially when they create these new realms and they don't allow you to transfer characters, which I understand why they do that, but you feel like all the effort and work you did on other characters and other servers almost feels to some degree like it was just a waste of time. You know, and that was the beauty of the original World of Warcraft, is you played on a realm and you just knew that's the realm you were going to be on. You weren't going to transfer, you weren't going anywhere, right? That's it. You know, in 2004 when I started the game on Doomhammer, that was my home. You know, I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't going to play some other version of WoW. There was no other version of WoW, you know, so that was the beauty of it, you know. Now I've got characters spread across so many different servers, and so much real effort put into all these different characters can be kind of a pain in the ass, or not pain in the ass, but frustrating that you spend all that time and it feels like those characters are sitting there with all that money and gold and regions and materials, and it's, you know, for what, man? You don't even play them anymore. So it's kind of, I think that's, it all comes in. I think it was actually MMO Byte, who I like. MMO Byte, nice guy. He put a video out, I think, today. Hold on a second. Is the Paladin good for tanking a WoW Classic? Yeah, the Paladin's actually really good, but it's specific. It's got kind of a specific role. Like if you're doing, like, you know, dungeons, like the Paladin's pretty much, in my opinion, the best tank for most dungeons, like, you know, pre-raid dungeons. But if you're doing like Nomer or Zul'Farrak or, you know, in my opinion, Paladin's almost the best tank just because of your ability to have, you know, AoE threat on multiple targets. You're still going to struggle. I mean, you don't have a taunt, so if you're playing with people, you know, if you're playing with people in your group that aren't really assisting the tank, I guess is the best way I could say it. You know, they're not like assisting the tank; they're just hitting any mob they want, and you know, a lot of times you're going to have problems with threat. But there's an easy solution to that, and that's just basically cast Hand of Salvation. You know, just use your Salvation bluff on pretty much everybody else in the party to lower their threat, and that'll pretty much solve that problem because they're just not going to be able to get enough threat typically. And then there's dungeons where paladins really excel at, like the undead dungeons, so like Stratholme, Skullimont's, and you know, those dungeons the paladin is uniquely equipped to tank them better than pretty much any class. So if you're doing like Strath runs or Squalor runs over and over and over again, a paladin, in my opinion, is by far the best tank for those. And then you have stuff like Blackrock Depths. I think Paladin, again, is excellent in Blackrock Depths. The LBRS, UBRS Paladin's fantastic. Is Paladin the best tank in like UBRS or LBRS? Probably not. I mean, it's kind of a toss-up. You know, I mean, they're not going to have quite the mitigation that a warrior would have in fights like, you know, like Rend or, you know, the final General Dracasath and UBRS, you know, stuff like that. You know, a warrior may be a little bit better equipped to handle bigger bursts of damage. But again, the Paladin's just as good because of the AoE potential. But then you move into the raids and stuff, and you start moving to like Molten Core and stuff like that, and then a Paladin at that point in time isn't really going to be considered good for you. Not that you can't tank raids, because you can, but it's not going to be. You're not going to be as good a tank as a warrior in raid tanking. And there's lots of guides out there, and there's lots of information out there about why that is the case. But it really comes down to the fact that you just don't have the same amount of kind of on-demand damage mitigation with shield wall, stuff like that. You know, with shield wall, with, you know, last stand, whatever, that kind of thing. But I mean, if you want to create,
Lovely.
if you want to create a tank that's like that can do everything, you know, that can raid and all that kind of stuff, then yeah, warrior's going to be your better option. But if you want to create a tank that where you can just want to grind, like, you know, pre-raid dungeons and stuff like that, a Paladin's going to be just fine. And if you want to do stuff like this and pull like multiple mobs, Paladin excels at this.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Do I? Oh, I gotta put it in my.
Lovely.
Yeah, we gotta do that. Hmm. Yeah, it's okay, cool.
Lovely. You can kiss your ass goodbye. You were screwed.
Hmm.
Lovely. You can kiss your ass goodbye. Lovely. You were screwed. You were screwed.
I don't think so. No, actually, it's a really cool weapon that the Zelch gave me. Check this out. It's actually called Grimclaw. It's the coolest weapon. 2.0 attack speed. Chance in it sends a shadowy bolt. And it looks like super cool, right? There was no fire. It's got like little blood on the... I don't know, it looks like teeth. It's actually a really cool weapon. How you doing, John? Yeah, I'd actually never seen I'd actually never really seen this weapon before, to be honest. So it's pretty cool. Zelch gave it to me. He's been kind of supplying me with a lot of my gear. Most of the gear I'm wearing is gear that he gave me. We're going to fully buff up. Fully buff. Fully and completely. As my wife would say. Yeah. Yep.
Lovely. You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Don't drown, yeah.
Lovely.
There's our boy, Grabler. Or Gobbler, not Grobbler. It should be Grobbler. It's the Gobbler. Nah. I haven't even bothered with it. It's just kind of, it's such a pain because it's kind of a long distance to go to. You know what I mean?
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
I'm not gonna kiss my ass goodbye. Murgle rare in Westfall. Murgle. I'm not familiar with Murgle. Oh yeah, no I am. I'm sorry, that's the Murloc that's on the beach, yeah. I was thinking Lakeshire. Yeah, there's actually two. There's actually two rares Murlocs. There's a Murgle and then there's another one. I think his name starts with S, I think. And he drops a dagger. Like a really nice dagger. I want +1 strength, +1 agility. Yeah. The level 26 has been obtained. Are you? We are up to shit rating. Learn. 1% hit rating. We can always use more hit rating. So our abyss chance is 4.5%. Still pretty high. Or what? The percentage chance to miss. I'm at 4.5% chance to miss when I swing. It targets like I think my level or lower. So hit rating is super important in World of Warcraft. That's why everybody's trying to get that hit cap. That's why you see warriors running around in devil sword armor. That's why you see hunters running around in devil sword gear, because they want the hit rating. Right, you see them devil sword gauntlets, devil sword leggings. There's the leather shoulders that drop in LBRS. You'll see warriors, rogues, hunters all vying for the same leather piece because they want the hit rating. You know, kind of sad, really, to be honest. There were definitely some itemization issues in Classic WoW and Vanilla WoW that didn't make a ton of sense, like not being able to find, like, you know, mailed items for a hunter that have hit rating. Well, not that they don't exist, they do exist, but there just aren't as many as there could have been. Same thing for warrior. That's why the Edgemaster handguards are so sought after, because +7, you know, axe, whatever. What is it? Axe, sword, axe? Was it axes, maces, swords? You know, that's basically just hit rating. Like +7. I can't remember how much that is, but it's more than 1% hit rate. I think it's like 1.5 or something, but I'd have to look it up again. But it's a lot.
Lovely.
No, I'm going alchemy. I was going to go leatherworking just for the meme aspect of it, because I actually have been wanting to do dragon scale leatherworking again, just because I enjoy going to like the burning steps and just killing dragons and skinning them. It's just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of fun. But I think it's axe, swords, and maces, isn't it? But and the money's decent. It's not great, but alchemy, I'm gonna go alchemy. Alchemy's just better for my character. Like when I'm tanking or doing AoE, you know, being able to make my own. I think the biggest factor that made me go alchemy was just the cost, man. Like if you go to the auction house and you look at the price of potions. I mean, they're super expensive. Like a stack of mongoose potions might be like 35 or 40 gold. I mean, it is a lot of money. So if I wanted to get like most of the potions I typically would like to run with while I'm tanking or doing AoE grinding, you know, I'd be spending hundreds of gold just to get the potions. You know, hundreds of gold. So
Did I not bring you some glee, mister? Oh, look at me.
wow, okay. I didn't know there were giant ones over here. Huh. Only played this game since 2004. You think I would have learned by now?
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been the most
Hey, what's up, Laser?
audience. Remember to toss a coin if you can.
How you doing?
Anyone needs me, I'll be at the bar. What for do you earn? It's the point of no return. After everything we did, we saw. You turned your back on me.
Oh yeah, you went to the convention. Cool. I remember that. Awesome.
What's that butcher burn? At the end of my days when I'm through, no word that I've written will ring quite as true as burn. Burn, butcher, burn.
Yeah, business conference. Hello.
All the memories.
Hey, Laser, where was the conference at? Where was it at? There are no young white crocolisks. Oh, so tabletop gaming, right?
Sitting up tall, watching lights fade, cool summer night, have a place in Spain. Hello, Mary.
So it was this one out,
So sad.
right here.
Have you forgotten all the dreams we had?
LARP! LARP!
But yeah, let them die. But yeah.
Chuck, there you are.
Guys?
What's going on?
Nothing. You know, just, I'm just kind of hanging. What are you guys doing here?
You told us to come.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did. You texted me. This address, life or death situation, any of this ringing a bell?
No, I didn't send you a text.
We drove all night.
I'm sorry. I don't understand. What could... Oh, no.
What?
Sam?
What was the...
Becky, right?
Oh, you remembered. Thinking about me. It's okay. I can't get you out of my head either.
Did you take my phone?
I just borrowed it from your pen.
I like the part when they drive up. Do we have the part where they drive up? Cars. I don't know if we're gonna... Yeah. I like the part when they drive up and they actually see like all the cars that are the same as Dean's car. Supernatural conference, man. That's like, it's like that was probably my favorite episode of Supernatural. That was a great episode. Guess we can see if some... This quiz is much easier doing it in the water, but I guess we can see if there's any crocs on land here. But it's usually kind of a waste of time. Oh, no, here's one.
Sitting up tall, watching sunrise, hands tied together, watching through bleary eyes. Let it die.
Wonder if we can get the here. Let's see if we can do.
It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright.
I love the scene. There's the scene where where the one guys that are playing them like play. They do like different scenes where he's like, I may have to kill him. Like I may have to kill Sam. It's fucking hilarious, dude. If you guys haven't watched Supernatural, that particular episode is just Fucking hilarious. You get to play your druid who has the eagle shaman archetype. Eagle shaman. Now, you're going to have to tell me what, like, is this a World of Warcraft druid? You have to give me some context.
Lovely.
Oh, Pathfinder. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know. You know me, I don't know anything about Pathfinder, really. Although it sounds super fun. Sounds cool. I used to live right... I told you I used to live right next to CuteFaith Gaming, but now I moved, and I'm not as close to it as I used to be, which kind of sucks. Because they do all the tabletop gaming there on the weekends. Was that really the last song on the playlist? Hold on a second. Oh, I guess it was. There we go. Could I please get the last crocodile skin? Pretty please, pretty please. Yes, more of this. It's number 2. I just liked. I mean, I haven't never played D&D 5th edition, but I read a little bit. I've got the player's handbook, and I read a little bit of the rules, like a very little. And I've talked to a few other people, and I don't think I would enjoy it as much as the original. It feels more like they tried to take D&D and turn it into like an MMO or something. You know what I mean? It's not. I like the original Dungeons & Dragons, like, you know. Alright, we got our crocodile skins. Let's turn these in. Well, that's not the point. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about later versions of Dungeons & Dragons were obviously changed, in my opinion, to make them more, quote, like, action based, you know, more like, I don't know. I just, you know, I have to do more research on it, but I don't like what I saw. I didn't really care for, and I don't even remember what it was that I saw because it was a long time ago when I looked at it. But and just talking to other players, man, I like the old, you know, to hit armor class 0. I like the way the systems worked, and from what I understand, that a lot of that stuff's doesn't really exist anymore. You know, here. Hey, Wallace, what's up, man? How you doing? I hope you're feeling all right.
Light be with you. Go with honor, friend.
New stuff is just nonsense. Yeah. What was it? Now, you told me this before, Voss, and I apologize because you know I'm old and I always forget. But what was the old school Renaissance again? What was is that a version or is that a way to play D&D?
Be careful.
'Cause I know you told me about that before, but I apologize. I can't remember what that means again. Okay, cool. See, player skill over character ability challenges solved through player ingenuity rather than reliance on character sheet. Players are expected to think creatively, investigate clues, and avoid unnecessary combat. See, this is the part that I liked, was high lethality and risk taking. Like D&D originally when I played it, you died a lot. Like you died, like that was kind of the point. Like D&D was like, and it really came down to the dungeon master, but it was punishing. It was like punishing. Like if you made mistakes, you could get killed. I mean, that was the whole point. That was the whole point of Dungeons & Dragons. If I'm a level If I'm a level 1 character and I'm fighting 2 or 3 level 3 characters, the expectation is that you're going to die. You know what I mean? You're going to die because the chance that you're going to get hit and lose a lot of, you only have so many hit points. So, once you get down to 0, you're unconscious, and if you're unconscious long enough, you just die. So that was kind of that was what made, I think, Dungeons & Dragons fun, is that it was dangerous, And that's so funny because that's what makes MMOs engaging, is if they're dangerous, right? I'll never get this to the day I go to the grave, which probably will be hopefully soon. Well, that was morbid. But you know what I mean? Like, I'll never understand why MMOs don't understand the most simplistic concept, and that is with difficulty. The greater the challenge, right? The greater the challenge that you face, the greater the sense of enjoyment or accomplishment when you defeat or figure out or surpass that challenge. It's a very simple mechanic, and it's a mechanic that exists in the world. Like, we as humans enjoy challenges, and we enjoy, overcoming those challenges, right? And that's the whole point. That's you know what I mean? Like one of the things, there's actually something I was watching earlier today that talked about, like, I can't remember who, I'm trying to think who it was who said this, because I wish I could quote the source. But what he was talking about was that he's found in his long life on Earth that what was the most enjoyable aspect of living was simply learning. So, like, learning something new. Because when you learn something new and you learn how to do something, you become good at it. Again, there's this sense of accomplishment, right? And that's the way video games are. Like, the reason you enjoy video games is because you're presented with all of these new things that you've never done before, or you're presented with puzzles or challenges. It's all the same thing. Like, once you learn something in a video game, maybe you learn, like, think about this. Like, what if you're playing Black Desert Online and you learn how to successfully like, enchant your weapon, or you learn how to successfully capture a horse in the wild and tame them and then breed them, which is something you can do in Black Desert, right? These are things you can learn how to do. When you learn how to do those things, you feel good about yourself. You actually, the sense of fun and enjoyment is increased, and it's the same thing with challenges. I mean, those things you learn can be considered challenges as well, but that's really what life's all about. So video games should reflect life. And, really, if you want to make something have a hook to it that's going to get people addicted to it, it has to be something that gets people addicted to real life stuff as well. Like, if people get addicted to lots of different things, right? Like, like Laser here gets addicted to playing pathfinding, games. And I'm sure there's a reason for that. And they're fun. There's systems in there. Maybe she really likes the role-playing aspect, which I'm sure that's probably a big part of it. And that's the big part of, tabletop games in general, is just the whole role-playing aspect. And that's the part that MMOs have really lose out on, is they lose out on a lot of the role-playing aspect. But my whole point, the reason I've had this big, long soapbox moment or TED Talk, is that I don't understand why people who make MMOs don't seem to understand that concept. The concept of an MMO is not to increase player power. It's not to just keep giving players something that makes them feel like their character's more powerful, which I feel like a lot of times that's what they do. It's like a carrot on a stick. They just say, well, every expansion, we're going to give you these new systems that you can do to make your character stronger. It doesn't have to be that. It can just be learning something about the world, learning something about the character, learning something about maybe mechanics that don't necessarily have anything to do with making your character more powerful, but they do stuff that maybe give you convenience, or just give you, like, maybe, even just learning lore about the game. Like, wouldn't it be cool if MMOs created systems where part of the main part of the game was to just learn what the world's about? Like, think about, like, a lot of MMOs, the maps are given to you, right? Like, you hit the M key and there's a map. Wouldn't it be cool that if in an MMO, like, part of the learning part of the game was exploring the world and creating the map? Like the map was either exposed as you explored, or there were systems in the game that allowed you to buy maps from, like, map makers, for example. Or maybe map making would be a profession, and then you could make really good, accurate maps, and then you could sell those maps to other players. There's so many different things you can do in MMO that have nothing to do really with direct power creep, and it's just, I just don't, the people that make MMOs today, they're just, they're all thinking about how can I make a quick buck, not how can I make a game that's engaging. Whitebucks RP or Whitebucks, you understand everything in that instant. That style of play does have a downside. I remember the DM who believed that a minimum of killing one BC such as yeah, that's a DM issue, Laser. Like Vals is right, that's just a bad dungeon master. And really that I would also say one of the problems with Dungeons and Dragons, which it's not really a problem with D&D as a game, but it's a big problem that exists in Dungeons and Dragons, is that the gaming sessions in a lot of D&D campaigns, really how good they are, how fun they are, it just comes down to how good is your DM. Really, how good is your dungeon master? So that's, you know, that's the big part of it, you know, is how good is the dungeon master, because it comes down to the dungeon master making it engaging and making it interesting and making it, you know, making the rules, like when you see rogues like saying, oh, I walk into a room and there's like a big huge ogre asleep in the middle of the room, and the rogue says, I'm gonna climb up on the ceiling and I'm gonna sneak across the ceiling because I've got like some sort of weird wall climbing, and then I'm gonna drop down on top of his head and execute like a back attack, and the DM's like, well, the ceiling's like 50 feet up in the air. Oh yeah, but I can do that. You know, so if the DM allows you to do stuff that's kind of real outside the realm of logical possibility, then that's just a bad DM. You know what I mean?
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
It's all spreadsheet nonsense. There's nothing wrong with a 50-foot drop, right? I'm going to drop from 50 feet in the air and backstab the ogre while he's sleeping. Sure, that's going to work. Have you guys ever watch, there's a YouTube channel. There's a YouTube channel, and I can't remember the name because I haven't gone to it in a while. I'm sure I'm probably subscribed, but good luck trying to find it. Let's see if I can find it really quickly. Yeah, it's this one.
The beholder has all of its eyes locked on to the four of you. Bard, you're first. What are you doing? I'm gonna cast Charm Monster. I'm gonna roll a 25 wisdom save. Oh, you're just the greatest. The beholder uses its legendary action to blast you with a disintegration ray. Roll the dexterity saving throw. Good thing I have proficiency in dexterity saving throws. Good thing I have an inspiration. Good thing I have lucky. You take 45 force damage as your body begins to disintegrate. That's great. I'm at 10 health. All right, Cleric, it is your turn. Healing word on the Bard, bonus action, 1d4 healing. Oh, come on, you don't have anything better than that? I can only cast one leveled spell a turn, and I'm already wasting it on you. I'd rather still have the ability to cast guidance on the Barbarian. All right, then that ends your turn, Cleric. Barbarian, what are you doing? Raging, got it. All right, and Rogue, it's your turn. Dude, there's one target. What are you even thinking about? I could... or I could... DM, how do you rule grappling if you're just grappling arms? Speed would still just be 0, but beholders don't even have arms. Interesting. All right. Look, Rogue, there's no one within 5 feet, so if you're gonna try to sneak attack, you might as well... What if I hid in this corner? In a corner? Everybody can see a corner. Yes, but I have the skulker feet, so is it dark? Sure, but I don't know what you're getting at. You're gonna have to walk into the corner, everybody's gonna see you walk into the corner, and then you're gonna try to hide in the darkness? Yes, my leather's a shadow colored. Alright, just roll stealth. I have advantage because of my supreme sneak. I got it, just roll. Roll the dice! 18. Okay, well, your entire party is oblivious to your your location, but the beholder does have 11 eyes, so he can still see you. Now I need to rethink my whole turn. Interesting. So I would like to try to climb the wall.
Here we go.
What are you? You can't even do that. You don't have enough movement. You don't have a climbing speed. And wouldn't this break your supreme sneak? Mobile feet, and I'm a thief, and I already rolled, so no. That doesn't mean you can climb flat surfaces. Can I try? Sure. Roll athletics. I rolled a 2, but that becomes a 9 because of reliable talent, so 18. You climb the wall so everyone can see you again. Great, thanks. Now I would like to try to monkey bar across the ceiling so that I can land on top of the beholder. Dude, how are you even accomplishing all of this in one turn? What is your goal here? Then I would like to try to land on the beholder. Can I help? What? No. All right, Rogue, that's the end of your turn, all right? Back to the top of the round. Bard, what are you doing? I would like to give Bardic Inspiration to the falling rogue. And then I would like to cast Vicious Mockery. Cleric. Now that the rogue's falling from the ceiling, I would like to cast Beacon of Hope. What does that have to do with the rogue falling on the beholder? Trust me, it makes sense in my brain. And Barbarian. All right, you deal 30 points of damage. Rogue, what are you doing? You're literally falling. What else could you consider on your turn? Is the beholder technically prone because he's hovering? No. What? That doesn't make any sense. Then I would like to try to grab his body. Pull out my bag of holding. And then put my portable hole in it. Very funny, but you can't interact with 2 objects on your turn. Fast Hands lets me use an object as a bonus action. The one who was foretold. He's done it! The beholder is sent to the astral plane. Along with everybody in the room. Hey, high risk, high reward. I would like to attack the rogue.
I would like to attack the rogue. Oh, that's a really good clip. But I mean, the thing about that clip is it's so real. I can't tell you how many times I played D&D and you have the rogues who try to do like so much stuff. It's like, I'm going to sneak and back attack and backstab and all this craziness nonstop. And as a DM, you're just like, come on, dude. So a nuclear bomb. What's going on with the nuclear bomb, Balst? I cast Mordenkainen's Faithful Watchdog. It creates a nuke. Yeah. I love that. They're like, the prophecy has been fulfilled. The one who was foretold. The one who was foretold. I love it. Oh, the one. And he's like, your whole party transports to a different plane or something. Like, Barbarian, what are you doing? Ah!
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
A Sky Elf Barbarian. I really want to get together a campaign We should all just get together and do a campaign of Stormbringer, right? I just have to figure out how to do the online campaigns, you know? Get the right software together so we could play together, like on, you know, I mean, we'd do it online. We could do like a Teams call or something, I don't know. There's tons of software out there. You gotta kill Elric and loot his sword. I'm not sure if you want to loot his sword though, because then you gotta like, because you're gonna have to do a charisma check versus the demon that lives in the sword. Otherwise, the sword's gonna completely control you. Foundry does? What is Foundry? Is that? I mean, that name sounds really familiar. Foundry Storm. Virtual, is it this one, the virtual tabletop? Yeah, this is it. Yeah. Cool, I'll take a look at it later. That's something I've always wanted to do, though, would be to get together and do a Stormbringer campaign. I think that'd be super cool. That's cool. Man, I'm burping right now. But me and my wife made lasagna for dinner, and I Garfielded it out, man. I totally Garfielded it out. I like ate so much lasagna that I feel like, you know, Garfield. But yeah, this was me earlier, scarfing down lots of lasagna, and it was good. But man, I was so full. I ate too much. What was this? Lots of people have cooked up support. Cool, cool, cool. You can add a dice roll and all kinds of things to Discord. Oh, can you? That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Yeah, I think creating a campaign, I think that's something I definitely should do. And we could do. I need to also make a YouTube membership, right? And so we could do stuff. We could integrate stuff into the YouTube membership along the lines of some of the Stormbringer campaign stuff as well. Don't you think that'd be kind of neat?
Lovely.
Yeah, we definitely would stream it. Your cat will drink milk till he bursts. I definitely would stream the. That's what I'm saying. We'd stream the whole like campaign. You have a Foundry server. What is even a Foundry server? So Foundry server is like, that's just like a streaming server. What is a Foundry server? Foundry virtual tabletop server. Oh, here we go. Yes, what's up, Barnsey? We are definitely in the wetlands. Self-host your own. I probably wouldn't. I don't know if I'd self-host my own because I don't have an extra server, and I probably wouldn't want to do it on this machine. The shiny war axe. You just take some buffs just to clear some inventory space out. Self-host on your own hardware. Or partner host. I would partner host on a cloud server, probably. Well, my machine's definitely beefy enough, right? I mean, it should be, right? I mean, here it is. We've got the Windows 11. It is an AMD. The first AMD machine I've ever bought, but it's the AMD Ryzen 7 7800X3D 8-core processor CPU with 64 gig of RAM. That's it? All I got, 64 gig of RAM? And then we've got the GeForce RTX 4080 Super. I think, Vols, I think it was you that sold me on the... You're the one who sold me on getting the AMD. That and the fact that, like I said, I did do the research on what kind of GPUs run Star System the best, because I plan on really trying to spec this machine to run Star System pretty well. So, and the AMD seems to run Star System better than Intel.
Lovely.
Ooh, a Mac Mini, yeah. Nice. Where are you going, buddy? Alright, I'm kind of getting distracted. What are we doing here? Let's go get the beefy alligators over here for the quest. We can also get the... Did we pick up Sita's bag? We did, right? Yeah. We can grab that one. We can do that one, too. Oh, man. It's 2:45 in the morning. It's kind of late, isn't it? $5,000 for an RTX 5090 here. Jeez. Oh my god. That's insane. You're heading off to bed. Alright, Laser. Yeah, but we can talk more about the virtual tabletop stuff. That's definitely something I would like to do. So I think that would be really cool. I don't have... Have I picked up fishing yet? I'm gonna have to level fishing too. Shit. I have so much... Whenever I go alchemy, I've got to go fishing too. So it's like... We got a lot of work to do, man. A lot of work. Go for the battle mage card instead. I'm not sure what that means. I don't think alligators run, so I have no idea why I'm judging these guys with Justice. Justice is great for Intel GPU. Oh, the battle... Oh, that card. I got you. I see what you're saying. I've got the... What? Yeah, 4070 Ti is pretty good. No, I need that. No, you bastard. Every time I do this quest, I always end up fighting other people for the alligators. Like, every single time. It's always annoying.
Lovely.
Ooh, giant. Aha! I got him before you, you stupid warlock.
Kiss your ass. You can kiss your ass goodbye.
I don't want to kiss my ass goodbye.
Lovely. You were screwed.
Let's go for the stun. Stun, baby. All right. Do I have any mana? Yeah, I got mana. Good. We got some mana.
You were screwed.
Oop-a-doop-boo.
It's too late for us now. We've gone. It's gone. It's true. We've gone too far.
Hey, what's up, Bob? Yeah. I fell asleep. I think I fell asleep. I was just telling these people in the stream, I actually had, me and my wife cooked lasagna for dinner, and I ate like 3 pieces of lasagna, and I was like feeling like Garfield. My stomach was like, I felt like I was having a food baby. Suffices to say I was very full, right? And so, and then I took the dog out, walked the dog, I did the dishes, and then I was just feeling so tired. I just felt like a big sloth, like, you know. And so I laid down on the couch around, I think this was around like 9 o'clock, because my wife went to bed early because she wasn't feeling well. Which, you know, my wife has a lot of medical issues, so she wasn't feeling good. She was having some heart palpitations and stuff, which is pretty common for her condition that she has. So she went to bed around 9. So I just laid on the couch with with one of the cats, and I was out. I mean, I passed out. And I slept until like 1 a.m. So what is that? 10, 11, 12, 1. That's like 4 hours. So I've already slept 4 hours. So I figure I can play until like, 4 a.m. here at least, and still go back to bed and get tons of sleep. If I go to bed at 4 a.m., I don't have to get up until like 9. So that's 5 more hours. So actually I could play until 5 a.m. and go to bed, and I'd still end up getting about 8 hours sleep total. But my wife hates my sleeping schedule, because I do these, because I'll be like playing till like 4 or 5 in the morning. That's why I end up sleeping on the couch a lot, just because I don't want to wake her up. That was some good lasagna, though. Man, I was very impressed with the lasagna I made tonight. Me and my wife made. It was excellent. I would say I'm against pepperoni in lasagna. I make lasagna with mild Italian sausage.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
I cook up some mild Italian sausage. I boil it, and then I peel the skin off the sausage, and then I crumble the sausage into the sauce, and then I stir that up, and then I add what do I add? Italian seasoning to the sauce. I add oregano. Is it oregano? And then pepper.
Lovely.
And then boil the noodles. And then I've got a really good nonstick pan that I use. And then I put down, the pan's not a big pan. Put down put down the noodles at the bottom of the pan. Put sauce in the pan first so it doesn't stick. Then put down the noodles. Then put down the sauce, the ricotta cheese, and then the mozzarella cheese, then the next layer of noodles, and then just kind of rinse and repeat. Next layer of noodles, sauce, ricotta cheese, mozzarella cheese, and the next layer of noodles, sauce, ricotta cheese. Or no ricotta cheese on the last layer, on the last topping. The last one's just the sauce and mozzarella, and then cook it for about 40 minutes. Then when it's done, I put the oven on broil, and I broil the top, sear the top so that the top gets the cheese on top gets a little brown, and then the noodles kind of get crispy on the edges. And sometimes you can add mushrooms. You can add, like my wife likes to add mushrooms, but I don't really. I mean, we did add mushrooms to it, but I'm not super big on mushrooms in lasagna. But it was okay. The mushrooms are all right. Dump egg over it and flour and deep fry. No, I don't. Yeah, I mean, yeah. The way I do it's a pretty simplistic recipe, but it works really good. Really, the magic of my lasagna is just the sausage. Italian sausage adds so much flavor to the sauce. So we didn't get our bag yet, did we? Oh shit, we did. We got Sita's bag already. How many did we even kill? Did we get off the first one? I think we did. Look, Sita's bag. Shit. I think we got it off the first kill. And it was either the first or the second one. We probably could get the Stormwind buff, right? Next current timer, 2 hours. I think it just dropped, probably. I think we just missed it. Yeah, it's all good. Oh, I wanted to show you that video too. I want to show you MMO's Bites video from earlier today, actually.
Lovely.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Oh yeah, I did my taxes today. Man, crypto, Vols, because I sold too much Bitcoin this year, I actually lost some money on my tax return, which kind of sucks. But I made a pretty good profit on the Bitcoin that I sold this year, so unfortunately I had to pay taxes on that. The realized gains, right? So that kind of sucks. But I did my taxes, so I need to do them, so. Yeah. I'm getting like $600 back. Normally I get a lot more than that, but the fucking unrealized gains nailed me. I know, but I sold a bunch. Remember when I bought my car? That's what happened is I sold a bunch and used that money to purchase my new car. So that was really the only big sale of Bitcoin. I think that's where I kind of got nabbed, you know? Bitcoin's just going through it's really bad right now, but man, what a buying opportunity, man. I wish I had a bunch of money right now. Because right now is a great time to buy Bitcoin, man. So if we go to where was it?
Korea and Taiwan in 2020.
This video here. Now, this is Mark, by the way. Mark's a really cool guy from MMO Buy. Mark was talking about some of the information around Ion 2. And Ion 2 global release date, they basically are going to be releasing Ion 2 probably this year, but the bad part is NCSoft's doing what they love to do, which we kind of like didn't think they were going to do that, because initially I think they said Ion 2 was going to be a global release to all markets. I could have sworn that's what they said, but now that's not what they're saying. Now they're saying we've developed content. It says right here, that's why we plan to release Ion 2 in Korea and Taiwan first, at the end of this year, and then release it in North America, Europe after modifications a short time later. Which is just, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. The problem with that is you lose a lot of momentum, you know? And also, if there's any negative press from the release in Korea and Taiwan, that can hurt the release in the Western markets. Their whole thought process behind doing that is, of course, that they want to basically prime the game for the Western audience, because the Western audience doesn't like grinding, which Mark talks about that in the video, which I think is funny because I don't have a problem with grinding. You guys know I can grind. I mean, just look at my Gray Gear Warrior. I was grinding like the last like 3 or 4 levels. All I did was kill monsters like for like 6, 7, 8 hours in a row. I mean, I was grinding big time, so I don't really mind grinding, but I don't like grinding if that's all. I don't care about grinding as long as grinding isn't the only purpose of the game. Like Black Desert Online, Black Desert Online has a lot of game systems in it, a lot of really cool game systems, like life systems and stuff. So you don't have to grind. I mean, there's lots of things you can do in Black Desert that have nothing to do with progressing your character. But if you want to do high-end PvP in Black Desert Online, a lot of people, what they do to try to stay ahead of some other players is they just keep grinding, because there's really no ultimate level cap in Black Desert. You can continue to level. It's just that leveling is very, very, very slow. So you might be like 63.1%, you know, and maybe you grind for a day and you're 63.2% or something. You know what I mean? But I don't care about grinding as long as the grinding isn't the only mechanic. Like in Lineage 2, it got to be a little bit annoying because when the game first came out, there wasn't really like enough quests or enough systems to help you level outside of just killing mobs at a certain point. You know, you got to like go 40 and, you know, all you did was grind. But I enjoyed it because in Lineage 2, I liked it. I actually liked the grinding aspect. But apparently people in the West don't like to grind, and which, you know, I completely can see that. I think that the Western MMO players, a lot of them are complete morons, to be honest. They're all about like progress through the content as fast as possible. And it's all about like, look at me, look at what I can do, look how fast I can get to max level, look at how fast I can get geared out. It's all about look at me and look at how quick I got the best gear in the game. You know, to me, that's not really what an MMO should be about. And, you know, and I think that the people who make MMOs for the West kind of cater to that mentality. Really, Blizzard caters to it for sure. That's why they have like these cycles. That's why they have systems in these games that kind of prevent the player from progressing past a certain point. Like when Blizzard releases a new MMO, a new expansion, there's always systems that are based on they're all time gated, right? It's like, oh, you can only do so many things per day, or you can only get so much of this particular currency per day, you know, or per week. You only get so much honor per week. those systems are in place to prevent players from progressing too quickly. Well, here's an idea. Why don't you put systems in the game that make it hard for people to progress too quickly just because they're too difficult? You know what I mean? Why not? The problem is the content is too easy. Put stuff in the game that requires exploration, that requires people to figure something out, that requires people to actually just be stronger. You know, you can't just, you know what I mean? I could talk about this shit for hours, but so a lot of the Korean games or Eastern MMOs, yeah, they're time gated by the fact that you'll get to a certain point, and the only way to level is to go out there and kill something for like hours and hours and hours, and that's their time gate. But the nice thing about that time gate, because it's a good one, I think, is that you get a lot of stuff from doing that. Like you take a long time killing mobs, it gives you a chance to collect a lot of loot that mobs drop. It creates pretty much a healthy economy, because if people are killing monsters over and over again, it generates a lot of stuff that can be sold. And also if you make the grind hard enough and long enough, then people get bored of that, then they're going to focus on other aspects of the game for enjoyment. So what you want to do is you want to give people options to progress that doesn't require you to grind. Like maybe that would be professions. Like instead of grinding for XP, maybe you can grind your profession. So not only are you getting XP by crafting, but you're actually raising your crafting skill. So all the systems are grindy systems, but by giving the player lots of options on how they want to grind it out, makes the game fun, right? So I actually personally I prefer Eastern MMOs over Western MMOs, because the Western MMO really is all about min-maxing, rush to endgame as fast as possible, and raid log or something. It's just that's not how I like to play MMOs. So yeah, the Arcade labor system.
Safe travels.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, most of the Eastern MMOs, that's how they make money. Is they put like convenient stuff behind a paywall. They put things behind a paywall, like you said with Arcade, with the labor system, or with Lost Ark, how you could only like gather so many herbs per day unless you got a potion, which could like reset that, so you could actually gather more, which means you could progress faster than other players.
What can I do for you?
So to me, that's not the right way to go. The right way to go is always just cosmetics. Add cosmetics to the game that people can purchase that don't look at all like any gear. So the cosmetics should be different enough that it doesn't, that it's obvious that it's a cosmetic, you know? It should be like, okay, this is just a cosmetic, right? Like, let's, for example, like some sort of a, like if you put on some sort of like a huge dress or something, like a pretty dress for a female character, or a really snazzy, outfit. But I don't like stuff that isn't fantasy themed, though. If it's a fantasy themed MMO, I don't want to see someone walking around in a tuxedo, really. I don't want to see people drive, like in Terra when they had like the police car. I don't want my mount to be a fucking police car in a fantasy MMO. To me, that's stupid. It's a fantasy MMO. I want it to be a fantasy MMO. I want the content to be fantasy themed,
What's on your mind?
You don't like the cosmetics? Well, no, I'm talking about cosmetics in the cash shop, right? I'm not talking about cosmetics gained through playing the game. I'm talking about put stuff in the cash shop that's just cosmetics, right? To make money for the developers. Yeah, I don't like the idea of. I totally agree with you, Vals, that the cosmetics, like games like Guild Wars 2, games like Final Fantasy, like the cosmetics or the transmog stuff becomes like the end game. You don't like the cash shop? I don't have a problem with the cash shop cosmetics as long as they're fantasy themed, and as long as they are different enough that people can tell that they are different than the acquired in-game gear, and that they're not better, like way better looking than the in-game gear. Because like what happens is if you have in-game, because I've seen some MMOs, I think Rift kind of fell into this category to some degree, where the gear that you got in the game didn't really look that good, but the cosmetic gear looked amazing. So they're like, you bought the cosmetic gear just simply because it looked so much better. See, I don't really care for that. I think the in-game gear should look good. I think cosmetic gear is just a different type of look. You know what I mean? Like for example, Terra like did bikinis, like they did like an event where it was like go to the beach and they sold like bikinis and stuff. And I'm not really opposed to that. If some character wants to walk around in a bikini, I don't care. Or if some character wants to walk around in swim trunks. It doesn't really feel fantasy, but that doesn't bother me too much. It's not my preferred cosmetic, but I mean, I think it's a really difficult system to get in place that's going to make people happy. So, but I don't think that's the main drive. Like in Terra, I don't think that was the main drive in Terra. Like the main drive in Terra, even though there were tons and tons of cosmetics you could get from the store, I never ever felt like getting cosmetics was the drive in Terra. To me, the main drive in Terra was getting your character, more stronger by doing the high end raids and stuff, and really to me, the Terra was more about PvP. It was like, getting really good at PvP, doing open world PvP, and doing like some of the hard mode raids and trying to accomplish those because they were challenging, adding tattoos. That's pretty cool. Yeah, and I don't have the solution. Like when it comes to cosmetics, I don't have the solution to how it needs to be done. Because there's so many ways to do it. All I'm saying is that I would rather see an MMO put stuff in a cash shop that's just cosmetic, as opposed to, that is significantly better than in putting stuff in the cash shop that is directly influence the character's power level, like buying potions that allow you to collect herbs longer than the other player who didn't buy the potion from the cash shop, or the labor system in Arcade. Oh, I buy a potion that it resets my labor or reduces my labor so I can go do labor intensive stuff again. I mean, that's obviously directly, like that's basically just pay to win. So I don't want anything that's pay to win. And my inventory is kind of borked in. But it's a very, it was a very bad concept. But it's a very difficult topic to talk about because there's no one right answer, and you know that there's no one right answer. There's no one answer that works for everybody, because one person may think something is really good, and the next person thinks it's really bad. So.
Keep your feet on the ground.
At the end of my days when I'm through, no word will ring quite as true as burn.
Hey there.
Burn, butcher, burn.
Am I even mining anymore? I think I am still mining. Yeah, I am.
Be careful.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there an MMO that's done it right? That's actually done a really good job. I mean, there are games like Guild Wars 2 to me made a huge mistake when they did cosmetic gear for PvP. That was stupid. Like they did like Guild Wars 2, like the end game became kind of like cosmetic. Well, it is, which I definitely 100% don't like that. I don't like the end game to be cosmetic, and it's Final Fantasy, the same thing. But like the end game was like cosmetic shit, which again, I'm not a fan of that. I mean, really, me, Vols, I've talked about it before. If I created my own MMO, it'd be so drastically different than the MMOs that we play today, right? Yeah, I mean, well, I'm a big fan of the sub as well. I think the sub is by far the best system. I think an MMO should have a sub, because that way you don't have to worry about creating a cash shop, right? Like the sub should be enough to pay the developers of the game enough money to pay their developers, right? Because they have to have income, so they can pay the people that work on the servers, that work on the game and stuff like that. They've got to have that income. If you don't have a sub, then where's the money going to come from? Then it comes from the cash shop. So, the one thing Blizzard did terribly wrong, though, was when they started adding mounts to the cash shop because that devalued mounts that players got in the game. And also the mounts in the cash shop started to be like way cooler than the mounts you could get in the game, which was a huge, stupid mistake, in my opinion, by Blizzard, right? That's just dumb. So... yeah, you don't want limited stuff, yeah. Data protection, yeah, data protection.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah, and they, Mark was talking about that in the video that he did today on Ion 2, and the market for MMOs has gotten smaller, but it's not. Okay, even the CEO of NCSoft said it's not that he even said this. It's not that there aren't people out there that want to play MMOs.
Lovely.
There just aren't as many good MMOs for those people to play. And he also said in their stock report meeting or whatever it was that the problem with modern MMOs is that there's all the MMOs that are coming out are so similar to MMOs that have come before them that the player base is bored. And that's why players aren't playing MMOs. It's not that there isn't a market for MMOs. There is 100% a market for MMOs, and we know that, right? I know that. Because when we see a private server come out that gets super hyped, like when Everlook when the Everlook private server first came out, it was super hyped. There were like 20,000-30,000 people. That's for a fucking private server, right? So, and that's for a private server that's just doing basically a modified version of World of Warcraft. So if a private server doing a modified version of a game that's been around for 20 years can get 20,000 people interested, there's definitely a market for a new MMO. And if you do something like Horizon Zero Dawn's MMO, right? Like if Horizon Zero Dawn released an MMO and they did enough of a campaign around it, I am convinced that well over 1 million people would play the game. And if you get 1 million people playing your game, you're going to make a lot of money. So, but definitely the market is there. There's definitely a lot of people that'll play MMOs. I do think that it's probably not quite as big a market as it used to be, but I don't think that's because MMOs. I don't think that's necessarily because people don't want to play MMOs or that MMOs aren't good games. I think a lot of that is because there's a lot more options. There's a lot more options for games now than there used to be. There's way more types of video games out there for people to play than there used to be. So, and not only that, there's way more things in general for young people to do. You know what I mean? There's just more stuff, like with the social media and all the different shit that's going on in the world. There's just a lot more stuff for kids to do. People are getting more into working out, or I don't know. There's just seems like there's more stuff than there used to be. So, but I don't agree that there isn't a market. Don't say there's no market. I know that's not what you said, but if someone were to come in here and tell me there's no market for MMOs, I would sternly disagree with that. I mean, just the fact that there's millions of people that still play all the different versions of World of Warcraft proves the fact that there's a market for MMOs. And it's sad. I mean, it's sad there's still millions of people that play WoW, because WoW has been around for a long, long time, you know? Yeah. It's been around for a long, long time. Now, is the younger audience really into MMOs? I don't really know. I mean, I don't have the demographic. I don't have the numbers on that. Like, I'm talking about kids between the ages of like 15 and 25. You know, I don't. Like, if you did a poll, right? If you did a poll, you know, are there a bunch of kids between the ages of 15 and 25 who'd be really interested in an MMO? I think they would be. I think it really comes down to marketing. You know what I mean? I think it really comes down to marketing. You know, like if you see, yeah, I know it never came out, but I mean, if you look at the marketing campaigns that, like something like Elden Ring, you know, when Elden Ring was being marketed, I mean, it was the successful marketing campaigns can draw in a massive amount of players. The hype train's a real thing, right? So. It does. It needs all those things. I don't think it has, but I don't agree with that though. I don't agree that it has to have an established IP. I don't agree that you have to have. You know, you don't have to have an established IP or lore. You don't have to have that. Now you have to have lore. I mean, you have to have, obviously the lore has to be there. They've had to, you know, the team behind the game has had to go to great lengths to generate a very good, you know, section or a very good library of lore. You know, I mean, the lore has to be there, but I don't think it has to be established, because obviously there's tons of MMOs that come out that didn't, you know, that never had that, right? Like Terra just came out and was a very successful MMO. And, you know, what did Terra have before it? Nothing. There was no previous existing Terra MMO, right? And Terra was a very successful MMO. Yeah, but WoW would have been successful. Like if World of Warcraft came out and it was completely different lore, it still would have been successful, because the game mechanics of the game were so good, right? Like it would have been successful. It didn't, you know, if it was just, sure, it was way more successful because they had that basis of Warcraft 3 for sure. But if WoW would have came out with all the systems it has and the lore was completely different, it still would have been a super successful game, like hugely successful. Probably almost as successful as it was. Because in the end, who really cares about the lore? Like, the segment of players that really care about the lore is not that big. What is it, like 20% maybe? Like, I barely know the lore of WoW. Like, you know, and I like lore, but I don't know much about it, you know? I don't really know all the lore. I like the stories for sure. But yeah, what's up, man? How's it going? Yeah, oh yeah, that's true. There's tons of great games that come out. Yeah, I mean, sure. I can give you the list of the add-ons. I mean, the colorfulness of it is just you know, you got to install Reshade. Just go to reshade.me and install it. So go to this website, right, and just download the latest version of Reshade. You know, run the installer. It's super easy. Here. run the installer. Like here's the reshade. Just run the installer. Browse, point to your WoW executable. All right, you'll point to your WoW. You point to the executable World of Warcraft. Once you point to that executable, you know, you'll click next and just go. It'll go through and allow you to pick what filters you want to use. You just have to experiment with the different filters. These are the filters that I use. Right here, I use Luma Sharpen, Levels, Curves, Colorfulness, Adaptive, Sharpen, Vibrance, Vignette, and HDR. I don't always use HDR, but I've been enjoying it this go around. Yeah, so these, they're just like custom shaders. Other people create them. Like, I mean, you can see, like, I use Vignette to kind of soften the edges of the screen because I feel like it feels more immersive. You know, like when I turn Vignette on, it really darkens the edges of my screen and just, it really kind of brings the focus. And I do a pretty heavy effect, so it actually really does darken the tops and the edges of my screen, but I feel like it immerses me in the game a little bit better. I like it. And it also just cuts down the brightness, so it's better for my eyes. You know, it's better on my eyes. Yeah. Yeah, and then as far as like the offset camera, that's just built into the game. You know, like I've got a macro that does it. You can go into here and go to my, it's called Action Cam. So you put like these 3 lines in a macro, and then there's a macro to kind of turn it off, but I honestly, I never turn it off. And it goes off by default. Like when you log out of the game and log back in, Action Cam will be back to the default setting. So if I drag this out right here, it's like right now, Action Cam is set to the default setting because I logged out. So I hit my macro and it offsets my camera. See, it's offset now. But if I target myself, it'll always recenter. If you target yourself, it always recenters. But you target the enemy and it's offset, right? And then this macro, if I wanted to, I could use this macro to reset it. But again, once you log out, it'll reset it. But I will say that the Action Cam doesn't always work because Blizzard did something in one of their later versions, probably because of their stupid Season of Discovery shit. They did something that changed one of the global variables, which allows the Action Cam code to actually modify the client in a way that it will do the offset camera. So I can say that if for whatever reason it's not working for you, that macro doesn't work, what you need to do is you need to install an add-on called Dynamic Cam and just enable that add-on and then load the game. Try using that add-on for a few minutes. As long as that's working, that add-on's working and it's offsetting the camera for you, then remove it. Remove it, reload the client, and then try using your Action Cam macro again, and it should work. I'm not going to guarantee you that it'll work, but it should work at that point. But if that doesn't work, you can always use Dynamic Cam, which basically does the same thing, and it actually works quite nicely. Really, the Guild Wars 2 UI takes care of scraps. I don't need scrap. I use Auctionator. I use Buffwatch Classic, which is basically just this little window here. It just enables me to track the buffs of people in my party, so I can very easily, once I buff them, like I can get rid of my wisdom buff here, right? Let's just right-click this off, and I could cast Blessing of Might. Once I checkbox this, it's basically saying I'm locking in, this is the buff I want this character to have. Once I checkmark that, then what happens is when that buff falls off, it'll still be there, but it'll be red. And that way I can very easily just rebuff people in my party. Once I see the red start show up, I can just go here and left-click it, and it'll rebuff. And so when I go into a party, everybody will be here. So, you know, if there was another player here and I buffed him with Wisdom, or this one was Salvation, you know, normally when you drop your buffs as a Paladin, you do them all at once, which is the way you want to do it. That way when they drop, they all drop off at the same time, and you just refresh them. I can just go over here and click, and refresh all the buffs. So I like Buffwatch. It's real simple. Like a lot of people use Pally Power, but I use Buffwatch because it's super, super simple, and it's all I need. For me, it works great. I don't need anything more. I try to use stuff that's minimalistic. I don't like to use that. Like that's why I don't use like the details damage meter, because I just feel like it's overkill. It's like I don't need all that crap. I like recount because it's simple. You know, all I really want to see. Sometimes I want to see damage taken to make sure I'm tanking good, because when I'm tanking, I want to make sure that I'm taking at least 70% damage. I'd love it if I can get up to like over 80% damage taken. That means I'm doing a good job tanking. And then, you know, a lot of times, you know, you can look at absorbs, or if I'm tracking damage, if I'm playing around with different kind of setups, I'll just, you know, just look at the damage, look at the damage breakout, and try to figure out, you know, you know, what is my best bang for my buck as far as enchantments and different types of setups for DPS. So yeah, I use Buffwatch Classic. I use Gathermate, which is just, you know, the gather add-on to track, you know, just so you see like nodes on the map, like, you know, herbs or whatever you're picking up. I don't think I've picked up any here. I think I did pick up some here. So you can see here the ore nodes and stuff. Let's just Gathermate. I use the Guild Wars 2 UI, of course, which is the complete UI replacement. I will say that setting up Guild Wars 2 UI is, there's a ton of stuff to Guild Wars 2's UI. It's like super awesome. It's an amazing UI. There's different modules here. There's skins, like certain skins you may not want to use. Like there's a skin that make like a merchant skin. There's a gossip frame. I turn these off because I don't like them. There's a quest. I don't like to use the quest log. Like right now, if I go to the quest log, I'm looking at the traditional Blizzard quest log. But if I want to, right, we can go in and we can use the Guild Wars 2 quest log. So this is going to cause me to reload, and I'll show you what that looks like. Hey, Paul, what's up? And now we're using the Guild Wars 2 quest log, which is not, you know, it's not that different. And actually, we could probably leave this one. It looks a little more, it's got more of a Guild Wars 2 skin look to it. This is not a hardcore server. This is the PvP non-hardcore anniversary server. What is it called? I always forget the name of the server. NightSlayer. This is NightSlayer. But yeah, Guild Wars 2 is cool. I mean, you know, you can move your HUD elements around. You can scale them. You know, you can scale them. There's all kinds of stuff you can do, right? You can go into the group frames, party frame here. You can change the units per column. You can change the width of the frames, the height of the frames. Do the same thing for the raid windows. The normal options you would have in the Blizzard's UI are all here. But there's a lot of stuff to the Guild Wars 2 UI, but the UI works really, really well. You're not going to run into too many errors with this. And I really feel like the Guild Wars 2 UI really works well with World of Warcraft. I feel like it, you know, because WoW has this kind of cartoony look, I feel like these interface elements I think work pretty well. But yeah. And it's just clean. The one thing that I probably don't like as much, I wish I could move the clock. Like when I use Sexy Map, I can move the clock out of here and drag it down, which I like. Like I don't like that I have to hover over this to see the clock. I kind of like the clock to be there. So that's one. I would say that's one thing I don't like, but that's pretty minimal. I use Questy, as you can see. Questy's over here. I always just have it collapsed. It's really, the only really reason that I use Questy is it just shows me the markers on the map, which is nice. I like to see, oh yeah, I got to go over here and, you know, do the Dragon Ball War banners. Go over here and collect these items for the Uncovering the Past quest. So I just like to see those locations on the map where certain quests are, or, you know, if I'm trying to figure out where do I want to level next, I can go here and say, oh, here's a quest. What level is this quest? Level 24. You know, obviously, so that's pretty useful. You know, you can go here. You can see all the balance of nature. These are old quests, but the old quests show up. But yeah, so Questy is pretty useful. You can also just go here and turn it off. You can toggle those things on and off if you want in the map. Which brings me up to the map. I use Leatrix maps, which is a little bit different than, you know, than Blizzard's default map. I think I'm trying to remember how to size this and move it. I can't remember how you size it. I don't know. There should be a way that you can scale it, but that is actually MSBT, which is probably one of my all-time favorite add-ons. So like if I've got like Celestica Wisdom here, when Wisdom drops, right? You see this text shows up, it says all hope is lost, and then it plays a sound effect. That's actually an add-on called Mixed Scrolling Battle Text, which Mixed Scrolling Battle Text is really, I mean, it's scrolling battle text, so it's what you think. It's like text that scrolls on the screen that shows you combat numbers, right? Like the damage I'm doing, shows up here. So like damage I'm doing to this model Screecher when I attack him is going to scroll here. The damage that I'm taking is going to scroll here on the incoming section, and then notifications like enter combat, leave combat, maybe like loot notifications, whatever, are going to show up over here. You know, you can move this stuff around and customize it however you want. But MSBT also gives you the option to create triggers. And so I can go in here and create triggers like here. Like I've got one that says I am dying. And when I configure this, what it's doing is it's basically looking at health change. It's saying unit ID is equal to me. Threshold is less 35. So what this is saying is if my health drops below 35%, then this trigger is going to activate. And what happens when it activates is it's going to play this sound effect. And it's going to output this message to the screen that says I am dying. So if you look at, let's see, all hope is lost, this one, which is the one we see when we lose my buff. You can go here and it's going to say aura removal. And this just means that recipient unit affiliation is equal to me. And the skill name is like Blessing of Wisdom. So when Blessing of Wisdom is removed, because it's an aura, when I lose that aura, what's going to happen when I lose that aura? It's going to play this sound effect. And it's going to say on the screen, all hope is lost. Okay, so we're going to buff myself with wisdom. Now when I remove it, all hope is lost. And so that's, MSBT is one of my all-time favorite. It probably is my all-time favorite add-on, to be honest. And then, of course, these are just weak auras. Everybody's pretty much familiar with weak auras. You know, I've got various, I don't have a ton of weak auras, but I have a few. I mean, right now I'm only really using like 5. I've got the non-shield classic, which is super cool. This is if some priest hits me with a powered shield, you're going to see that beautiful bubble that shows up with the little chevrons, which I just love that. I love this aura. I got a missing Paladin one here, which is just going to say if we're missing our aura here, you can see it's going to just show up here. This little icon lets me know that I don't currently have an aura up, right? So if I go in here, and this is another add-on I use called Opie. This gives me like a Skyrim-like scroll wheel menu, right? And you can customize each one of these. These are called slices. You can customize each one of these slices to put on them whatever you want. So these are my professions. And you just move your mouse to point in the direction of the one you want to actuate. And then you can move the mouse cursor to the middle of the circle and you're not selecting anything. And here I've got my target markers, right? So I can go skull, you know. It's not the best way to mark. I know a lot of people build these into different macros, but I do it this way. It's kind of slow. Not the best way to do it, but it works. And then I've got my auras here. For Paladin, it's great because even like blessings, like eventually like this last slice here will be blessings. Because if I'm in a raid and I want to drop like blessings in a raid, I don't want to have a shit ton of keybinds. So I can just go into the raid, you know, pick people in the window and just hit his and just select which blessing I want. So that's really good. I explain things like your comm science teacher. I'm not sure what that means, but okay. I guess that's good, right? So I've got item rack, but I'm not currently doing much with item rack. You know, item rack obviously allows you to set up different sets of gear. Eventually, like at 60, I'll set stuff up. Sometimes I like to have like a spirit set where it's a lot of spirit, and then when I drink, it'll automatically swap to the spirit set. So like as soon as I start drinking any kind of water, my character will automatically, like here, see drinking? So you can go in here and set up a set, right, of stuff that when you drink, it's going to automatically switch to this set of gear. So that's pretty cool. Really useful if you're playing a hunter, because hunters, one of the things I realized with hunters is to do really good damage in a raid as a hunter, you're always drinking in between pulls because you just blow your mana so fast. And so rogues, like for example, don't really have that issue. So rogues can just keep DPSing and DPSing if the tank's pulling quickly. And so it's very difficult to keep up on the damage. And so what I found out with my hunter was that I set up a really, really good spirit set. So as soon as I get done with one combat, I would start drinking, and I would switch to that set, and I would regen mana quite a bit quicker. So then when I went to the next pull, I had a little bit more mana, so it increased my overall damage. So that was pretty useful. And what else? So Kui. Okay, and then Kui. So Kui, what Kui does is it's just target nameplate. So you see the nameplate above this creature here? This like nameplate is Kui nameplates. And I like Kui because I can customize the font. I can move it around. I can customize a lot of stuff about the nameplate, the size, the highlight, how it's highlighted in red. I can customize the color that it highlights this window in, that kind of glowing red highlight. I can customize the cast bar. I can actually detach the cast bar off the bar and move it. And there's lots of things you can do with it. The other thing I like about the Kui nameplate is it seems to really fit. It seems to feel like it's part of Guild Wars 2. You know what I mean? It looks so similar to the Guild Wars 2 target down here. Like, these look like they're part of the same UI, even though they're not. And this is a completely different add-on that shows my nameplate here. So...
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
So that's Kui. Obviously, why we talked about Leatrix maps. Actually, Mask we don't need anymore, so we can get rid of Mask because it doesn't really affect. Unfortunately, it doesn't affect Guild Wars 2's. Mask is a way to skin the buttons to make them look different, and it doesn't work for Guild Wars 2. Move Any is really cool, and I like Move Any, and I'll show you here. So Move Any allows me to, to move windows around. The fact that I can do this is because I have Move Any installed. If I didn't have Move Any, this window would probably pop up over here and I wouldn't be able to move it. And I just hate the fact that I don't have to look all the way to the left side of the screen to look at something. So, you know, that's Move Any. So I like it. Now, Move Any does throw a little bit of a glitch with, if you go into Move Any, it does throw a little bit of a glitch when you use Move Any with Guild Wars 2 UI, in that normally it has the raid. Like if you look at these buffs here above my mana bar here, these buffs right here, normally in World of Warcraft, those are displayed right up here at the top of the screen because these are just your buffs. And so Move Any kind of freaks out because it thinks that these buffs are still up here. So you'll see these kind of like ghosted or like little like buttons that show up here that look bad and they shouldn't be there. But the way to fix that is you just go into Move Any and you can actually enable or kind of disable certain things in here. And so you just have to go into, I think it's, you would just go in here and look for buffs and just like uncheck buffs. Like, I think it was just this one. So if I check buffs and reload, I think we'll see the issue I'm telling you about. See how you have these like purple looking squares up here? You know, you don't want that. That's ugly, obviously. So you just, to fix that, you go into Move Any and you just uncheck buffs. So you're telling the Move Any, I don't want to do anything with buffs. Because Guild Wars 2 is handling that. I've got the buffs down here. And MSPT we talked about, mixed swing Bowtex. No overworld buffs, it just shows the layers up here, and then you can look at it and see when the buffs, like the world buffs, have dropped on which layer. So it's very useful, especially on a server that's really populated, because this server, like when these buffs come up, like when a new Onyxia buff can be dropped on like layer 1 or layer 2 or layer 3, I'll get a text message saying, hey, within the next 10 minutes, this layer is going to be eligible for a buff to be dropped. And since this server is so populated that if I just run over to Stormwind at that time, like, 9 times out of 10, a new buff drops almost instantly, like right as the timer's up. So that's actually quite useful. OmniCC is just, OmniCC is like the cooldown numbers here. See where it says 7, 6, 5, 3 on the bar here? That's OmniCC. Now so WoW has that built into the bars, but I don't like WoW's. I think OmniCC looks better. So Opie we talked about. Opie was just these, this is Opie. And you can go in, you get your ring bindings. Here you can set the key bindings for what they are. Here in the custom rings, you set what the ones that which ones that you're using. There's auras, blessings. I mean, you can customize all these. So currently, on F3 I have auras, right? So F3 is the auras ring. So if I want to modify that ring in any way, what shows up, like if I hit F3, this is my ring right here. If I want to modify this ring, I can. I go to Opie, I go to custom rings, and I pick auras. And now you can see these are the ones that are on all of these. Now these are on it, but since I don't know these auras yet, they don't show up. But once I learn like shadow resistance aura or frost resistance aura, they'll just magically show up on the ring. But you can add other stuff to your rings. You can add anything. You can even add macros to a ring. Like you could add macros. So there's all kinds of stuff you can add to your rings. I don't even know what data broker is. Oh, it's other stuff. So, but there's all kinds of stuff you can add to a ring that isn't even, you know. Oh, it won't go anywhere. Like all my streams stay on the channel, right? Like this isn't Twitch. This isn't Twitch where they disappear, you know what I mean? Like currently this stream is live, but when the stream ends, it'll still be there, just like how this stream, when it ended, it's still here. So this stream will still be here. It just won't be live. Just like this one here. It's just 2-hour, 39-minute stream from yesterday. Yeah, YouTube's, yeah, so. Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, no worries.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
I think we pretty much covered most of them. There might have been like maybe one add-on we did, but I mean, really, it was just weak. It was Nova World buffs, and then weak auras. We were on Nova World buffs, so yeah. So the only ones we didn't cover, you know, obviously Questy recounts just the damage meter here. Threat Classic, you don't see it now because I'm not in combat. When I'm in combat, it'll show up. There's this little window here that shows my threat. Unit scan, it's just like a rare scanner, tracks like high level, like, you know, world bosses and stuff like that. If I get close to those, I'll get a warning on my screen that lets me know, hey, there's like a rare mob or a world boss close by. And then weak auras, and that's it. And that's it. You need help? Thanks, I appreciate it. I'm good. You got a warrior on NightSlayer? Yeah, I'm sure they are. And I'm a protection paladin, so, you know, I don't really have much of a chance to do anything. I can't PvP on a protection paladin very well, is what I'm trying to say. You know, I'm going to lose most fights, you know.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
I enjoy trying to set up this character to be able to pull the biggest pulls possible, and I enjoy just like farming stuff. I enjoy tanking dungeons on Protection Paladin, like ALBRS, UBRS, BRD. I don't do a lot of raiding on Protection Paladin because most people just won't let you really raid on a Protection Paladin that much. But yeah, I enjoy tanking dungeons a lot. You know, I'll be tanking like LBRS, Skolomons, you know, like Stratholme, all that kind of stuff. Oh, yeah, the Skullflame Shield, dude. I know I need the Skull. I'll have the Skullflame Shield eventually. I just don't have the money right now. I mean, what have I got? I've got 44 gold right now. A lot of the gear I have right now is my friend Zelch has been kind of helping me out. He's been buying gear for me. Because I haven't been playing on this server very long, so I don't have a lot of money. But yeah. Yeah, normally I run with the Skullflame Shield. Like, I don't know if I have I have multiple WoW accounts. I think my other WoW account has. Let's see if I can show you one, but you never got the T-Boo's sword.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
T-Boo's blazing sword.
You were screwed.
You can see all my buffs drops because I'm taking like way more damage now. It's because I've lost all my buffs. Let's just do. We're just gonna have to bubble, unfortunately. I hate bubbling, but really wasn't a whole lot we could do about that there.
Lovely. Lovely.
Yeah, but let me show you. I don't know if I have on this account. Well, let's see. Let's see if we've got it.
A place where
So here's a video from 6 years ago. Like here's a video from 6 years ago, and you can see I'm using Skullflame Shield. I've got Uther's Light. You can see Uther's Light trinket just procced. I've also got the Ungrower Crater Lightning Shield up. You know, the one you get from turning the crystals in Ungrower Crater. I also got the Demon Forge Breastplate here. We also have Flurry Axe enchanted with... Actually, I'm not sure if I'm using the Flurry here. This is actually not the Flurry Axe. This is where I was playing around with the axe that drops in Blackrock Depths in the 5 Kings room or 7 Kings room. This axe has an internal proc to heal, and it's also enchanted with life stealing. So you can see here we're going to get quite a lot of heals coming back. Like here, you know, 49, 49, 49, 49. These are all like self-healing. The 49s are the Judgment of Light proc. The 76 is me judging Seal of Light. So I think 30. I think is life stealing. We're getting a lot of life stealing there. One of the ones that's pretty fun to look at is, let's see. So this video was really fun. Here, let me log out. I like this one a lot. This is when I was playing around. This was before Classic WoW came out, so this was 6 years ago.
All right, guys, quick video here to show you how...
And it's funny because my UI is so borked back in. But back then, 6 years ago, I don't... And plus I was on a private server, so the private server was the 1.12 client, so you didn't have... You know, let's not forget that the 1.12 client is pretty ugly. You know?
I decided to play around with a weapon that I got in BRD and throw life stealing on it. And if you notice the heals I'm getting right here, plus 49, plus 30.
This one I think this was Light's Hope. This was not Nostalres. I think this was Light's Hope. Yeah. Remember when Light's Hope? No, it's not Turtle WoW. This was Light's. I think this is Light's Hope. So this was like the Nostalrius client, but it was when Nostalrius got shut down, and then Light's Hope came up and started their private server. But you can see here, look at all these heals. I just swung, like, look at all these heals. Like the 45 is the internal healing proc of the axe. The 49 and the 49 are me procking Seal of Light. The Seal of Light that's judged on target, and 30 is life stealing. So I swung my weapon once and got 4 heals.
Look at that. 4 heals. Plus 49, plus 49, plus...
Now, I talked about this before, but
plus 49.
The difference here...
plus 49, plus 30, plus 49, plus 35.
And the 35 is the Skullflame Shield.
Okay, so
the difference here, though, the one difference on the private servers that didn't exist in the Classic, which was really kind of a bummer, but that was one fight. So in one fight, I killed one mob. I procced 19 heals. So I self-healed myself in that one fight for 449 health, which if you look at my health pool, I only got 3381. That's a lot. That is a lot of self-healing for one fight, right? I mean, that's a ton. You know, that's more than 10% of my health pool. But the thing was that on the private servers, there was a mechanic where the Seal of Light judgment on the target could heal you, like, because you're using Seal of Righteousness on your weapon, right? So you judge a target with Seal of Light. Every time you hit that target, you have a chance to heal yourself for 49 health. But Seal of Righteousness does additional holy damage every time you hit somebody. Like, so if I hit somebody and I got Seal of Righteousness on my weapon, I hit him and I do my weapon damage, but then all of a sudden I do an additional damage comes through as well, which is holy damage. So the way a Seal of Light worked on private servers was that each of those sources of damage could proc the possibility that I would get healed from the Seal of Light judgment. So I could swing once and get healed twice. That does not work in Classic WoW, and I wasn't sure if it would or would not. I was really hoping it would. So I guess private servers, and the thing is, we didn't know, because I mean, no one had played Vanilla WoW since 2004, 2005, so no one could really remember, like, how does this really work back in, you know? So and I'm sure that Blizzard, like the way Classic works, is probably the right way, but it was a little unfortunate because that's a lot of healing you're losing. I mean, I'm probably losing, you know, like out of that 400 something healing, I bet like, you know, 150 of it was that additional.
Plus 49, plus 30. Look at all the heals I'm receiving.
So, yeah, the 49 is Seal of Light, and the 30 is Lifesteal.
I'm a healing machine.
35 Skull Flame Shield, 49 Seal of Light, 30 Lifesteal.
Look at this. Now the 30.
Now see there, this is what I'm talking about. Like in Classic Client, I would not have gotten 2 procs here. So what happens? I swung once, my weapon hit the target, the heal, the Seal of Light Judgment on the target healed me for 49, and then the additional damage from Seal of Righteousness hits the target for its damage. That also procced the 49. That's why I got 2 of them, and on the Classic Client, we won't get that, unfortunately. So
5 is
I'm really liking this tabard. I may have to go back to the white tabard.
Coming from my shield, right?
I may have to go back to the white tabard because it just looks so good on it. It just looks so good on this character. The reason I didn't go with the white tabard was there was already like a guild that had the white tabard on here, but I don't know. The white tabard looks so badass. I think the turtle upgrade for that is quite a ways off. I think that's quite a ways off. Whilst I don't think we're going to see that for a while. Yeah, the mobs were. Yeah. You're right. Light's Hope. The mobs were. The game was more difficult on Light's Hope. The dungeons were more difficult. Right. I didn't do any of the raids on Light's Hope, but from everything I heard, and the mobs were definitely more difficult. Now I don't like. Do we have? Let's see. Here, let's go back. I don't know if I have. There's this one.
Cat just jumped on me. Come on, Anubis. No, Anubis, you can't lie.
It's funny. All those years ago, and the cat's still jumping on me. But yeah, so I'm pulling like. These aren't big pulls. Let's see if I can. I've done some pretty big pulls over here. I mean, like where I pull like maybe 10 or 12 mobs at once. Pretty good size pulls, but these are pretty. The only problem with these pulls, when you're like level 59, it's not too bad. But when you go over, you can basically hit this area here and level straight to 60 as a protection paladin, like at 50. So you can hit Sorrow Hill, which is this area here. You could hit this at like level 50 and just sit here for 10 levels. And I pretty much did that. Oh, you got to go to bed? All right, I'll see you, Dota. His name is Dex QR. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely hit you up. Here, I'll add you right now. I'll add you. But what I was saying is that you can actually hit this. You can hit Sorrow Hill level 50 as a protection paladin and just level straight to 60 without doing anything, without even doing any of the quests. And it's actually not that slow. The only problem you're going to run into is this server is really populated, so I'm sure there's going to be probably a lot of people competing for this spot. But you just have to. You do have layers though, so you can kind of swap layers. So, but I bet this spot is really popular for mages too and other protection paladins. So, but yeah, I mean it's fun. I actually love Sorrow Hill. It's such a great spot for paladins. To AoE level. I wish I had like a big pull here. Here's a pretty good pull. Oh, and here's a rogue. Here's a horde rogue. Here's a horde rogue here trying to kill me. He probably does kill me because as a protection paladin, you're not really very well equipped. Let's check this out. We're going to try to get ganked by this rogue, it looks like. And I think what's funny is I think the rogue that tries to gank me here is the same rogue that I killed in Arathi Highlands like 2 or 3 times. And his name was like something green. It's like something green. He's an orc rogue. and he tried to kill me in Arathi Highlands like 2 or 3 times, and I killed him like every time. I killed this rogue 1v1 in open world PvP like 3 times. And now here it is, I'm at level 59, and he still remembers me. This guy like still remembers me. He probably hates me.
He's gonna try to reopen up. No, he's not there.
Look at all these mobs. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 8. No, actually, it looks like I've got more than 8. Here he comes. Here comes the rogue. He just restelled. Yeah, this is him, Born Green. So this is the same guy. I killed this guy multiple times in open world on Light's Hope. So he obviously doesn't like me, I don't think.
Comes. There he is.
He kills me pretty easily here.
How do they jump around like that? I mean,
Yeah, I think he was like warping or something. Let's see. Watch his movement here. It looks kind of suspect.
on me. I was like, why am I stunned? It's alright.
So the rogue's on me again. Well, here he's moving normally. But I like how the rogue tries to kill me when I've got like 8 or 9 mobs on me. It shows you the typical horde rogue mentality. Total pussy, right? Total pussy. Like he doesn't want to take me 1v1 when I don't have like 8 mobs hitting me. That's a typical horde player for you.
Try to reopen up. No, he's not there.
Here he comes.
Here he comes. There he is.
That's
How does he jump around like that? I mean, seriously, how is he moving that fast? You see that? You see him like jittering and jerking? You see that? It's like, how is he moving that fast?
I think he just has sprint up. He just says sprint up. That's all.
Asshole.
That's all it was.
Oh, it's Born Green. Oh, he finally got his revenge. That is the fucking rogue who I killed like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, it's funny that I just realized that. So it's funny, that rogue, it's so funny because I killed him 2 or 3 times at the islands back when I was like in my 30s, like level 30s or low 40s. That rogue opened up on me multiple times. And one of those clips, I don't know if we'll be able to find it, but it's in this long ass stream of clips. Because this is my leveling of 1 to 60 Protection Paladin I did on Light's Hope. And it's the full things here if you guys ever want to watch it. And I'm a lot better player on Protection Paladin now than I was then. But still, I was pretty good then. But it was fun. It was really fun leveling this up. But somewhere in here, there's going to be a stream of me fighting good old Born Green. We would just have to find when I was in Arathi Highlands.
Back in Darkshire.
Like here's level 26.
All right, so we're gonna try to go
Desolus.
33 here, and we're also gonna hopefully farm some.
Desolus. Still in Desolus.
All right, I wanted to.
36.
All right, after the server went down.
Yeah.
All right, I wanted to come in as.
I went with the white. Oh, okay, I went with a different border on the tabard too. Maybe I'll switch my tabard. But it's like 10 gold every time you want to change your tabard, so it's like super expensive. I would love to find that clip because there's one clip where Born Green tries to kill me. The cool thing about the clip is I actually kill him. Like he had me down to like 2% health or 1% health, and all he had to do was hit me once and kill me, and I like did a parry block in a row, and I killed him. And I killed him with my shield spike. So I was down to just a sliver of health. He was trying to kill me, and I parried 2 attacks, and the 3rd attack, I blocked it, and he died. He literally died to my shield spike, which I just thought was freaking hilarious. I'm like, when do you ever kill somebody in PvP because of your shield spike, It was awesome. I wish I could find... I'll have to try to find that clip and show you guys, because it was just so funny. And you know that he was hating me. He's like, oh, because I already killed him once or twice. So he's probably thinking, I got this Paladin. And he's like, because I had no health left. And then he's just like, parry, block. And then he died. And I was like, oh, man, I think I was rolling. I was laughing so hard. But you actually can, in PvP, I think at lower levels, you have a better chance. Probably at level 60 when a rogue gets, when it starts to get better gear and stuff. Probably going to be a lot more difficult, but you can definitely kill rogues and warriors, but it's not easy. I mean, as a protection paladin, it certainly isn't easy. You're not very well equipped for PvP, so. But anyways, I think I do need to get to bed. It is 4 in the morning. I spent too much time as I do talking about other stuff than you know, like when I'm on stream, I end up showing stuff and talking and not playing the game, so it slows me down. But that's I enjoy showing you guys different things and talking about different stuff. It's fun. So I'm a very chill WoW player. I'm not, I'm not min-maxing. I'm not hardcore trying to level super fast or anything like that. That's just not the way I play the game. I play the game to have fun. So, and I'm always looking to improve. I'm always looking to improve as a paladin. So, and that's really the goal. When I play WoW, I'm always just trying to get better with whatever class I'm playing. A lot of times I play different types of builds that are very unusual, and they're not always optimal, but because they're different, I guarantee you that if you play those different builds, it ends up making you better with that particular class, because you learn. When you play different builds that other people don't play, it puts you in situations you normally wouldn't be in. So you start using certain abilities in your toolkit differently than you normally would use them. Perfect example of that is when I play my melee hunter. Like I play melee hunter a lot, where one of the abilities on a hunter that most hunters don't use is cower. They don't usually use cower setup on their pet, right? But as a melee hunter, bouncing threat back and forth between you and your pet is actually really useful, because as a melee hunter, you're speccing into improved aspect of the monkey. You're speccing into your parry rating, so you have a lot of dodge, you have a lot of parry, so you're actually pretty well equipped to like kind of off tank mobs yourself as a melee character, because you have a lot of mitigation. And as a hunter, obviously you have a lot of agility because you're stacking a lot of agility gear. So because of that, you can put yourself in situations where you can handle like if I was fighting these level 25 raptors and I'm a level 25 hunter, I could easily attack 3 of them, and I would just basically have my pet tank one while I tank the other while the third is CC'd, and then you can just rotate. Like if for some reason, you're starting to take a little bit too much damage, you can drop threat really quickly and have your pet pick up the second raptor, so that now your pet's tanking both raptors. And it's really easy to do that because as a hunter, you have disengage, which drops threat, and you also have cower on your pet, which is kind of the same thing as disengage. It allows your pet to cast an ability that helps him drop threat. So it's very easy to swap threat back and forth between you and your pet. So that's not something you normally would do a lot of if you're just doing like a marksman hunter. So, playing kind of unusual builds like that forces you to kind of learn different types of mechanics. But because of that, I was able to go into like LBRS, UBRS as a melee hunter and actually basically handle like 3 mobs by myself. So that's actually really useful when a pull goes really bad and the group's really struggling. You can just tell the group, hey, you know what? I'll take these 3 guys. I'll handle these 3 mobs. You guys handle the others. And you can do that because you can off tank 1, let your pank tank 1, and then just CC the third. That's one of the things that makes Melee Hunter really cool, actually. Melee Hunter is actually really cool because of your ability to kind of off tank, and just your crowd control ability, with your traps and stuff. Because if you're running Melee Hunter, you're always going to be running improved traps, so your trap duration is going to be really good. Like if you drop a freezing trap on somebody, they're literally like CC'd for like 20, I think over 20 seconds. So it's a pretty good CC, and the cooldown of traps in Classic is really short. It's only like 30 seconds. So if you're freezing a mob for 20 seconds, by the time it drops, it's only 10 seconds until you can basically, CC him again. It might even be shorter than that. I could be misquoting that. Let's see. Stamina.
You can kiss your ass goodbye. Lovely. Lovely. You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Let's go with Sealed Justice and just see if we proc some stuns. We procced one stun already. Procced one stun already. Sometimes Sealed Justice, if you have a really, really fast weapon, sometimes it's kind of fun to play around with it because it does proc the stun fairly often. So if you are a little bit low on health, sometimes it's fun just to throw up Sealed Justice, but I wouldn't do it unless you have a pretty fast weapon. So you can try to get some stuns in there to kind of mitigate damage a little bit. And plus you're going to be doing less damage, so it's kind of, eh. I haven't done a ton of research into it, but play around with it just to see, see if it does feel like maybe you're taking less damage. But yeah, definitely when you'd have to have a pretty fast weapon. I don't hope I didn't. I think I already had that buff up. Shit, I might have wasted that. Oh well, those are pretty cheap in the auction house. If you're pulling multiple mobs and they do quite a bit of damage, like these two raptors do quite a bit of damage to me, always use your Hammer of Justice. Like pull Hodge one right away, because that Hodge is just going to reduce the amount of damage you're taking. That stun is going to minimize the damage a little bit, and do it at the very beginning of the fight so you can get that cooldown, running. So you can have it come up again. And of course, obviously against these guys as well, if they drop that debuff on you, cleanse it because it increases the damage you take. Still missing a couple of fragments here. Let's do the Sealed Justice again, just to see. Let's see how many stuns we get out of it. There's one. There's two. The stuns aren't very long though. It's only a 2-second stun though. It'd be a lot better if it was like a 3-second stun. 2's pretty short. Just looking for the quest item. Let's see if it's over here. Okay, so not here.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Just want to see if it's over here. I don't think it is. Nope. That means the last two items are going to be up near the top.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Lovely. You were screwed.
Ooh, that's Sorreltooth. I don't really want to kill him because somebody might need him for the quest.
Lovely.
Sometimes he does path down. He doesn't do that a lot, but sometimes he does. The whole path down here. I'll zoom the camera out a little bit. Sometimes one of the items will be up here. If it's not, that means it's got to be some up over here. Or they're hiding over here. Yeah, there's one of the items. There.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
I can always kiss my ass goodbye. A lot of times when I play on non-hardcore realms, I'll modify that alert so that it doesn't trigger so soon, just because having my health this low isn't that big a deal on a non-hardcore server. So we still need the motor and the adosados. I'm hoping the last one's right over the hill here. And
Lovely.
it doesn't look like it is. It's got to be somewhere else then.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
Yes, I don't know where that last one is. Ooh, I didn't want to fall off there. No, thank you. I think the last one is like a chest. Because we've done a couple that look like urns, and we did the dirt pile. So I think the last one is going to be a chest. So we need to find a chest. There, right there. There it is. Is that Sorreltooth? It sure is. Let's mark him because we can turn this quest in really quick. We can come down here and take him out. And then we're done with this area. That'll get us pretty close to the next level. And then I can go to bed. So at level 36, we've got an epic sword that Zelch got me, just the dazzling longsword. We also have the level 36 epic shield that I got for I paid 10 gold for it, which I'm kind of mad about because I saw it on the auction house yesterday for like, or this morning for like 6.5 gold, like 6.5 gold. And I'm pretty sure I paid 10 gold for it, so I'm kind of bummed that I I didn't get a better price. I've got 44 gold total. What else did I buy? He got me Uther's trinket, which is nice. I think he got it for 20 gold, which was a super good deal. Yeah, we still got to get the flurry axe. I've seen it as cheap as 200 gold.
What's on your mind? Safe travels.
Which is not a bad price. The Skullflame shield, though, the price of Skullflame is pretty. Oh, I didn't finish everything yet. Okay. Alrighty then. Didn't realize I hadn't killed all these guys yet. That was my bad. Missed my jump. Well, I hit the jump key, but the character didn't jump. Like, I wanted to jump on top of this pole here. Please don't let me get stuck here. Nah, didn't think you got stuck in that location. Yeah, I need the green ones now. I need the blue ones. The blue raptors. This is 4 outer. Sorrowtooth still up? I don't know. There he is. He's going back up top.
You can kiss your ass goodbye.
One more. This is actually a good spot to just grind. We could grind out quite a bit of XP in this spot. It's actually good. Be a little bit better if I had the. I mean, obviously, if I had the dragon buff, it'd be a lot better. But we could certainly grind this area out pretty good.
Talk to me. Be good.
I hope this guy doesn't just pick up that quest and kill him, because that would suck. Like that hunter. I don't think so, because he would have passed me on the way for the turn-in. But I don't see Sorreltooth. Oh, there he is. Ooh. And there we go. We just dinged, what, 27? Sweet.
Here there. Off with you. Watch her back.
Open for business. Go with honor, friend.
Alright, I think we gotta change the guild tabard. I was watching that videos of my old videos of my paladin. I looked good in that white tabard. Blue tabard's cool, but the white tabard just looked pog. It looked so much better. 10 gold down the drain, right?
Greetings.
And I actually went with a different border. I went with the solid border. Oops. So I went with this tabard. I mean, it looks better with my white hair. There's that white tabard. I can tell what mace I'm using. That's the epic mace, level 38, I think, and that's the green tower shield. I think that's the green tower. So the epic shield, epic mace. But normally for the border, I go with this one. Which one looks better? This one? Or solid one? I think the solid one might actually look better. Which I don't normally I don't go with the solid one, but was I doing the red? Man, I can't believe I played with my camera so far zoomed out. That's funny that I play with the cameras. I play with people sometimes come to my stream and they freak out because I play with the camera so close, especially in hardcore. It really freaks people out in hardcore. But I play with the camera like literally this zoomed in, even in hardcore, and people are like, "What? You're gonna get killed?" I'm like, "Nah, it's all good." God, I can't even tell what the difference is. Did they add a color here? Because I cannot see a difference. Yeah, this one's just a little bit more red. This one's a little bit more orange. So you want this one? Yeah, I think the solid border actually looks better on this one. 10 gold.
Be careful.
There went 10 gold. But I think it looks nicer. Well, we could sell some stuff. Maybe we can make some of that money back. Oh, 4 silver. Phoenix loves. All right, 3 silver. And maybe we won't make any of that money back. Maybe we won't make any of that money back. What of us is damaged? No. Where's the dagger at? Oh, here it is. Yeah, 1.4 gold.
Greetings. Be careful.
Alright guys, I gotta get to bed. It's like almost 4:30 in the morning here. But thanks for stopping by. I hope you guys are having a good one, and I will catch you in the next stream tomorrow night, where we try to get to hopefully level 30, or get pretty close to level 30. That would be good. Catch you guys later, man. Peace out.
You're alive. How disappointing. I've also survived, no thanks to you. Did I not bring you some glee, mister? Oh, look at me. Now I'll burn all the memories of you. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been the most beautiful audience. Remember to toss a coin if you can. If anyone needs me, I'll be at the bar. What for to earn? It's the point of no return. After everything we did, we saw, you turned your back on me. voice when I'm through. No word that I've written will ring quite as true as burn, burn, butcher, burn, burn, butcher, burn, 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 burn.
Go with honor, friend.
Watch me burn all the memories of you.
Sitting up tall, watching lights fade. Cool summer night at my place in Spain. Hello Mary, why so sad? Have you forgotten all the dreams we had? But let them die. But let them die. Sitting up tall, watching sunrise.